Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bad for Baseball, presented to you by Betway, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog, joined alongside by Adam Peddle. We are continuing with our team profiles, projections, however you want to call it, just looking ahead at 2025, and we're moving on to some, I guess you could say former, but, not technically the former, but former World Series champs in the Texas Rangers. Incredible season, obviously, in 2023, literally the best that you could do, and then just a cataclysmic fall off in 2020. I mean,
super hungover,
like debilitatingly, hungover.
You went on a wine tour and you just couldn't stop, and then you went to the night and then you had no water type of hungover.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I know about it, and it doesn't it doesn't feel good, right? And that's what they were on last year. What is this team going to look like in 2025? Where are they going to go? Are they going to look more like their 2023? Are they still hungover? How drunk did you get, Texas? That's what hangover. I want to know.
Yeah, 2-day hangover, 2-year hangover. Can you imagine if that happens?
Seriously.
But we'll break down the entire roster, the lineups, the bullpen, the starting rotation. But first things first, we got to take a look at and see who exactly left this team and who came in on this team, because that might get us a better picture, I guess, of whether they improved or regressed in this offseason. The guys who left, Nathan Eovaldi, he actually signed back. He was a free agent for them. He came back to them. Andrew Heaney, gone to Pittsburgh. Kirby Yates, remember how good of a year he had last year for their closer? He's gone. He's a Dodger right now. David Robertson's currently unsigned. He left the team. Carson Kelly's gone. Leclerc, their setup man, is gone. Max Scherzer, the guy who started 9 games over there in Toronto. Andrew Chafin, a bullpen depth guy, goes over and signs a minor league deal with the Tigers.
Yeah.
Matt Duffy, Urena, Jankowski, that's a lot of dudes leaving the door, and some bullpen guys and pitchers, starting pitchers especially, that they need.
Well, just forget the names for a second here. When you look at just positions alone, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 starting pitchers, and then 4 bullpen guys as well. And that's, for a team that last year, everybody, they were 21st in starting pitcher ERA and 26th in relief pitcher ERA. When you're losing 4 guys from, each one of those, and I would argue, quality individuals as well, Max Scherzer, I know they didn't play a bunch, but, you were expecting him to do well for you, and Kirby Yates, great, David Robinson, I remember a couple years back, we were heralding him as one of the better guys. Andrew Chafin is always very solid. These aren't just nobodies here. You weren't good last year. You lost a bunch. How are you going to get better from this,
And also, how are you going to stay healthy? Because they've had major injury concerns in that rotation, too. I'm looking right now at how many different starting pitchers they've had last year. Let me rattle them off for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different starting pitchers.
They're aware that a typical rotation is 5, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? But they can't stay healthy, and obviously we'll get into this a bit later, but Jacob deGrom is one of the reasons why. But that's the thing. They lost a lot of those depth, but what do they get in return? What do they add? Well, they didn't really add any starting pitching at all, but they added a crap load of bullpen guys. They added Chris Martin, Robert Garcia, Jacob Webb, Sean Armstrong, Hobie Milner, Luke Jackson, all these guys. I mean, you have 1, 2 of them with over a 4 ERA. The rest of them have all 3 high 3s to mid 3s.
Okay.
They're filler guys, but that's the thing. When they won the World Series, their bullpen wasn't good. Last year, their bullpen wasn't good. Right. Are we expecting their bullpen to be good now? I don't really think so when you strap these guys together.
No. And you know what? I did look that up. I looked up the 2023 bullpen ERA. So to put that in perspective, they were 24th in baseball. So it's the difference between 2024 and 2023, right? Because they win 60-odd games in 2024 and then win the World Series in the prior season. Their bullpen actually wasn't that much different. It's seriously, it wasn't it was a little bit worse, but not horrendous in that regard. The biggest difference was the hitting and the
hitting
offense.
Was the largest difference.
You look at that, they were ranked 21st in batting average, 20th in on base, 23rd in OPS. This is all 2024 statistics. Back in 2023, this is when they won the World Series. I mean, you're talking about the third-ranked OPS team, up there in average, second in average, really a second in all, again, top 3 in effectively all the key categories. they dropped like 20 spots down.
Yeah.
And of course we're going to lose, a bunch more games.
Yeah, and it's all because of the main couple guys right here. You had Marcus Semien take a huge step back last year. Like he was awesome in that year in 2023. And then, age, is it age that's starting to get to him right now? He's on a lucrative contract. As a Rangers fan, you hope not, because he's 34 right now. But last year he had a 699 OPS, and right now he's projected to be leading off the Texas Rangers lineup. And you got to hope. Corey Seager was great last year for them. Like, there's no problem with Corey Seager. He was healthy finally, 533 plate appearances, with an 864 OPS. You're happy with that if you're a Rangers fan. But then it was kind of a weird year. You also had Adolis Garcia, a little bit of regression. Josh Young, a little bit of regression in his second year with the Rangers. Jonah Heim, big-time regression. He was looking like one of the best offensive catchers in the game, and then he regresses back down. So you're hoping for some bounce backs, but you're also hoping for some of the guys that you brought in to kind of make up for if there is any still regression happening in that current lineup. You're hoping that the guys you're bringing in, like Jock Peterson and Jake Berger, they made a trade for Jake Berger and signed Jock Peterson. You're hoping that those guys can supplement that power and that production.
Yeah, I'm taking a look right now at Marcus Semien, because it is an interesting one. He's 34, and you do start to wonder if age is a factor. I'm looking at the percentiles here on Baseball Savant. Really, there's only one thing that's different from 2024 and 2023. Only one thing. And it's his sweet spot percentage, where he was like really good in 2023, and then like that dropped off pretty significantly in 2024. But everything else is almost identical. I mean, I don't know. Like that's super weird to me, because typically when you see a drop off of more than 100 OPS points, you expect to see a bunch of different things here that are kind of different and odd, but. I mean, he wasn't hitting the ball nice. I don't know.
Because I think it's LA, it's launch angle. I think that's what it is, the launch angle sweet spot. And I'm looking at it right now. In 2023, he had a launch angle of 19.1. Hell, even back to 2021, when he hit like 45 home runs with the Toronto Blue Jays, it was 20.3. So, up high teen 20. And then last year, it drops down to 17, 2 whole degrees. Is that 100?
That's
OPS?
The thing.
Game of inches.
I mean,
it's
again,
a game of inches.
Game of inches. You never know. Somebody get their protractors out and do the geometry on that one. Feels like there's more at play here though than what I'm seeing on the page.
So with that being said, do you think that Marcus Semien could actually realistically bounce back? Because that's what a lot of people are hoping for right here.
I mean, honestly, looking at this, I would say
yeah. Like, what's the difference? Other than the
I was thinking, like, when I initially pulled this up, I was like, oh, like some of those power numbers, they don't look that good.
Right.
But then in seasons prior, when he's been really good, I mean, they're kind of all identical. So it's not like he's like relying on that. I don't know if he was getting like hyper unlucky last year. I genuinely feel like when you look at this baseball team, they have a lot of good players. That were just going through something last year, and it like the simple, like genuinely the simplest, explanation of all of this was we won the World Series in 2023. We all partied a little too hard in the offseason. We didn't put the work in that maybe we were supposed to. And, we showed up to camp and we just weren't really ready and motivated to go.
And I could chalk it up as that too, right? And I look at their lineup, man, and it's super nice. Like, if you forget kind of the hangover last year and just look at like these guys and you're going to play these guys out, I mean, it's super deep. Like we said, Semien, Seager, Wyatt Langford, right? That's a rookie guy that everyone really enjoys there. What will he do in his next step? Jock Peterson, Adolis Garcia, right? Home run king. Josh Young, Evan Carter, the rookie. Jake Berger, who is the 3-hitter on Miami, is projected to be the 8th hitter here. And then Jonah Heim. Like, this lineup, I think, is going to absolutely bounce back and bang. The question is,
how much is the bounce back?
How much is the bounce back? That is true, because they carried them in that 2023 year. And also, is their rotation and their bullpen going to be any good? Because I'm looking at the rotation, and there's question marks there too.
Yeah, like from my standpoint, the reason why I said how much is because I genuinely think that this team, like if you're, and we're not talking World Series here because we got the Betway line and we'll get to that in a second, but I mean to get back to being like good and playoff squad, because I think they only won like 90 games in the World Series year, I believe it was 91 or 90 games, it wasn't that much.
I think it was wild card there. Weren't they a wild card team?
Scraped in,
See.
and that was with the third ranked offense and OPS and everything like that, so
right. Well, I always think about it too with the Blue Jays in 2021 when they just missed. They had 91 wins. They had a terrible pitching staff. Granted, they did have a Cy Young, but like other than that, terrible. And then they had amazing offense.
Exactly.
So same thing.
And for me, like I think I need to see this offense get back to top 5 and everything.
Right.
Because when I do look over at that pitching staff right here, you got Nathan Eovaldi, who is slotted in at your number 1 right now, and I like Nathan Eovaldi. I don't love Nathan Eovaldi. I like him. I don't know if I like him necessarily as your number 1 guy, age 35, Nathan Eovaldi, but okay, that's where he is. Behind him, Jacob deGrom. What in the holiest of hells are we going to get out of Jacob deGrom? I mean, like,
no idea.
I have genuinely no idea. This guy could come out next year and pitch for a 2.5 ERA, win the Cy Young, and I wouldn't blink. He could also come out, pitch in 10 games with a 5.5 ERA, and then fall apart, and I also wouldn't blink. I mean, like, genuinely, the range of outcomes with Jacob deGrom is as big as it is with anyone.
Yeah, I think I actually would blink if he stayed healthy and was competing for Cy Young, because I'd be like, what? I haven't seen this since frickin' 2019.
True. Yeah. Honestly, probably that is more unlikely at this point than the alternative.
Like literally, 2019 was the only year he's pitched 32 starts. Since then, the most starts he's had in a single season, other than COVID year where he had 12, is in 2021 where he had 15. So he pitched half a season. Ever since then, it's gone downhill. 15, 11, 6, and 3. Every time he's been on the mound, though, he's been great. He's been absolutely great. You could argue in his 9 starts against the Rangers, it's the exact career average that he's been doing, right?
Dude, I'm looking at okay, so John Gray, he's their number 3 right now, and he's had some good years in the past.
Yeah.
Last year, not really one of them. He pitched 102 innings and had a 4.47 ERA. That's your 3 guy. Your 4 guy, Tyler Mahle. Now, he's had some great years in the past. Over there with Cincinnati, I remember I had him in a fantasy year one year.
Yeah.
And he was really, really good.
Right.
Last year was not one of them. He pitched 12 innings.
I know.
That's
what
are you going to get here?
And then Cody Bradford, again, he's a rookie, only played 1 year, but he only had 13 starts. So it's like, again, is it the same problem that they're going to experience yet again, where they can't have guys stay healthy? So this rotation, while we see 5 names on the page right here, it may not be the same 5 names come even May, June, right? So that's the problem.
And for me, that is when, because let's face it, we can go through the bullpen, but there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of names in here that you don't know.
I have no idea. Dane Dunning.
Yeah, that's actually I do know Dane Dunning.
That's the one guy.
Because he used to be a starter, and I used to spot start
Me
him
too.
in fantasy.
Me too.
So I do know Dane Dunning. Not very good though.
No, he wasn't.
Point being, this bullpen's gonna be in the bottom 10. I don't know where, but they're going to be somewhere in the bottom 10 right there, so you can't really rely on them. But lock it in. That's where it's going to be. For me, this team comes down to one very specific thing. Is the offense top 5 again?
Yeah.
Is it that much of a bounce back? Because if this offense bounces back to being I don't know, 9th in OPS, 10th in average, maybe we get on base a lot, but we don't slug it. Well, I don't know, something like that, good. I don't think that's enough.
No,
I don't think
it's
that's
not.
enough.
And I really looking at the grand picture of the Texas Rangers. They live and die. That's where they spent a lot of their money, was on that offense. And if they don't have that offense bang, that's it. They're done.
Yep.
They're absolutely done. So with that being said, let's get to the over-unders, everybody. Big shout out to Betway. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the details to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. The over-under is 85.5. So, you could go over but still not make playoffs. Under, however, is it's the same odds per side, but at least from my perspective, under feels safe because last year they got 78 wins. But I'm not revealing my pick yet. That's not my pick. Where are you kind of at right now?
78 wins was a lot more than I thought they got last year.
Yeah.
I thought they were much worse than
They
that.
they kind of picked it up at some points and showed life again. Maybe when the hangover started to leave them. But 78 wins.
Yeah, it's under for me. It's just it's definitely under for me because I don't know, man. Like I look at that, I look at the pitchers, and I think I know what I'm going to get, and then it comes down to how good is the offense, and I do think it is very good, and I do think it will be nice, but you're asking for it to be like really, really nice to carry you, and I don't know if I can buy into that. So yeah, give me the under.
Yeah, when I made my AL West kind of predictions, I'm going to contradict myself because I didn't look at the rotation. I didn't look at the bullpen. I just had an image in my mind of what I thought the Texas Rangers were. I love the offense, and if the offense is top 5, they're going over. It's over. Like, because it didn't matter.
That's what you're betting on.
That's what you're betting on.
What you're betting.
But can I bet on this Marcus Semien could bounce back. He's a big factor. He needs to bounce back. If he doesn't bounce back, it's kind of like the Blue Jays where you need Bo Bichette to bounce back. This is their Bo Bichette. They need him to bounce back. Is he going to bounce back? I believe in the depth of this lineup. Like it's very deep, and they could probably find a top 4, top 5 easily with all these guys and be a top 10 offense. I think it's going to be very, very close, but just to be safe, I might put them 85 and go slight under.
Yeah,
just
man.
a slight
again,
under.
like I think they could still be a 500 team.
And
like that's under.
Because I look around and I'm looking at the rest of the American League, and it's not that hard. Like you have a couple bounce backs, you're like a borderline, if not a wild card team. Like that's it.
You could be. I mean, ultimately, offense, the major bounce backs from the offense is going to determine this team and the health of that pitching. And I certainly can't buy into the health of the pitching.
No, the pitching is brutal, and I don't even know what their depth looks like. That's another problem.
No,
like it's like who's their
Dane
sixth?
Dunning.
It's Dane Dunning, and then who's after him? Because that guy's gonna have to pitch this year.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like so, they are gonna be tested. You guys let us know in the comments down below. What do you have over under 85.5 wins from these Texas Rangers? Both Adam and I hitting the under, but you guys let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to Bat for Baseball if you're on our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers.